what I'm wanting. I want it to work in one direction and one direction only. Go ahead.
M3YSB G5STU, and I have got the live stream going now, Vernon, by the way. I've just hit the go live button. I thought, you know what, I'm here, let's do it. So hello anybody that's watching the stream. I'm sure there won't be any there at the moment, but there's no directionality to it, Vernon. There really isn't. I've got it on a rotator, little TV rotator, and I have tried even, you know, short skip, long skip, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. So I'll tell you where it does make a difference. I had some local QRM, and when I say local, I'd say it was probably coming from somewhere, you know, within a mile or whatever, you know, maybe Poole Harbour or something. But and when I turned on that particular day, when I turned the rotator around, I stumbled across the fact that when I had it at 177 degrees, or the, you know, the opposite number, it kind of nulled it out by about a good 1.5, 2 S points. It was magic, you know. So from that perspective, the rotator, it comes in handy sometimes, not every day. Most days it makes no difference because the noise is really low. That's one of the things, Vernon, about it, is the noise level is super low, you know, S1, S2, because it's up so high. And I think that is literally it. It's because it's up so high, and obviously I'm in an urban environment, but it certainly seems to make a massive difference. And I've sort of tested raising and lowering it as well, because I can raise it and lower it a few meters, and it's certainly the higher you go, the less noise. Vernon, over.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. No, well, what I can say to you is I am definitely going to try it. And it's a reasonably cheap but a very effective antenna. Whenever I hear you, I'm always curious, and obviously I watch for YouTube myself, and I've seen all your videos that you've done, so I know what you're doing. It's unbelievable to think you spent probably maybe less than £55, yet you're actually doing what most people would even dream of running if they were running a BKW or a G5 or a long wire, or even some of these jockey type antennas. You know, your receive capability is astounding, and especially when you're doing your live streams, you know, when you look into all the people you're working. So, no, hats off to you. You're certainly doing superbly, and I don't know if I'll be able to get the exact 21 metre I want out of it, but even if I went like you're doing, 14-15 metre above ground, 45 foot, 50 feet above the ground, you know, that will be feasible, and that is definitely possible. So, watch the space with interest, and the only thing I've got to do now is decide which two types of mobile antenna am I going to use. Do I use two ham sticks? Do I use two AMPROs? Do I use two buddy poles? Well, what do I do? Because I think, you know, as long as I'm using two resonated antennas of the same resonance, e.g. 240 meters or 280 meter or whatever band I'm on, it should work very effectively. And I think the VSWR should be, you know, well within 1 to 1.5 without the tuner. With a tuner it'll be unity, and well, I'll never be able to run power through it because I can't, and I'm not allowed to, but you know, for the 10 watts that are going into it, it'll be quite interesting. And same again with the feeding. I'm just looking here now, I'm sure you said, did you say Ultraflex? Well, if I could use the same again, I'd probably use EasyFlex 15 or maybe better. I know Nassini Pellini, they make a very good interceptor first thing, and that's what I'm using at the moment. That would be a good feeding line. So, yep, lots of opportunities. Right, I'm going to let you carry on with your live stream. I'm going to let you have the frequency, because I'm sure I can find another one. If you don't decide not to, I'll give a shout and, you know, see where we can get. But I do think it's overly long a skip this evening. I can hear Europe, I can hear England. I haven't heard anybody in Japan so far, but about 3 nights ago, Japan, I'm sure you were listening at the time, absolutely storming in. There were about 6 or 7 of them up and down the band, and they were all a good 30 over. So, you know, even with what you're using there, I'm sure, you know, with your 400, you would easily work Japan, because obviously, as you say, the noise level is very low down, and that's what you want to do. It's not all down to your power. It's down to the actual selectivity and being able to actually get rid of all the QRM. So with that, nice to hear you. Sorry I didn't call, and apologies also to anybody else who maybe stumbled upon us and thought, oh, who's that splattering, or who's that breaking through? I have been here for a few seconds. G5STU, back over to you then, Stuart. Lovely to hear you, and as I say, if you wish to carry on here, choosing your setup on this frequency, and you've done your VSWR and tuned it all in, you may as well use it while you can, and I'll just sit and listen a couple of minutes. Nearly got it right, I nearly said M5 then. M3YSB, G5STU, back round down to the coastline of Dorset. Back round to you then, Stuart.
Yeah, G5STU. No, I appreciate that, Vernon, and I see I've been spotted on the frequency as well by our good friend David, M0TPT, so yeah, no, it will save me moving and tuning up, and like you say, I'm warmed up here now, so yeah, no, I appreciate that, Vernon, and yeah, the ham stick dipole, like I say, I've used it a lot now, you know, I've done 2 videos on the subject, and I'm going to do a part 3, like a roundup summary of everything I've sort of discovered about it, because I've done a lot of testing, different setups and things, and this particular setup is the one that seems to work the charm. So I'm going to do a roundup of you know, on the hamstick dipole on 40 meters. The original plan was to do 20 meters and try and see how it worked for DX, but yeah, long story. You'll have to watch out for part 3 to see all about that, Vernon. But lovely to talk to you, mate, and yeah, no problems. I'm sure we'll bump into each other again, and I'll say 7-3 for now. M3YSB, G5STU.
Okie, and hello, David, if you're watching and listening and doing whatever you're doing. So, yeah, nice to hear you both. And I was thinking I might try one on 10 meter, but I've already got an aerial for that, so I don't really need one. So this one over here, I suppose it's a glorified version of what you're doing. All I'm doing is running literally 2 loops of wire. Each loop is resonating in 40 meter, and they're running against each other. One acts as a reflector, the other one is acting as a transmitting aerial. But I think from what you're doing there, obviously, you're transmitting on both and receiving on both. But no, working superb, absolutely superb. And when you look at the actual diameter of that antenna, it can't be any more than about, what would it be, 5 meter, 6 meter long maybe? So, no, superb. You're doing very well there, Stuart. Right, I'll leave it to you. Hello, David, if you are there, like I say, and I'll let you give Stuart a shout. And with permission then, Stuart, I'm going to be watching your live video there, so what I'll do is I'll keep chipping in every now and then on the YouTube chat, and I'll let you know that I'm still listening, or if I'm drifting away, or whatever I'm doing. And when I do set mine up, if I can get it set up, so my computer skill is not brilliant, I'll do the same. I'll actually do a video of me setting my aerial up, and we can do a comparison possibly. One thing I will quickly ask, sorry Dave, I know you're there, and all the other listeners by the way, real quick, you said you were running 10 meters of the Ultra Flex. Is that from end to end, or is that just the length that you found is ideal when you've added a bit to it, or is it just purely a 10 meter length? Back to you for a quick one, and I'll let you carry on.
Yeah, G5STU. Now, the reason it's 10 meters is because they sell them in pre-cut lengths, don't they, with the ends already on. And basically it was to save me having to buy any tools and faff about putting the connectors on, Vernon. So on Martin & Lynch website, you can buy a 10-meter patch lead effectively in a packet straight from the factory with all the ends on. So that's what we did. And it just so happens that's the perfect length for my installation, you know, without having any spare coax and it not being too short. It really is the magic length. So that's the only reason, Vernon, over.
Oh, okay. No, I saw that, and that's the other thing that I was so pleased about, because I was actually thinking of using those for my aerial I got here, but because I'm running 21 meters, I would probably need 2 packs of 10, or 2 packs of 10 plus a bit more, and when you put a connector in line, that just defeats the whole damn object. You may as well just have a whole hog of it and say, oh, sod it, whatever length I need, even if it's a weird length, say, I don't know, 17 metre, I can get them to professionally build it for me, do the ends for me, and that's that. But yeah, I can see that, and as well, the same again, 10 metre, if you're using 10 metre length, what's that, like quarter wave and 40, so yeah, quarter waves are good. So what you can do, you can add to it, you know, a quarter wave, a half wave, a 3/4 wave, blah, 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 etc., etc. And even with the connector in it, you're really not going to get that much of a loss. It might be, I don't know, what would it be, 0.3 of a dB, something silly, and that's only the difference between me shouting at you to me whispering, so, you know. Oh well, we'll have to see. Right, sorry everyone, I do profoundly apologise for rambling. You know what I'm like, everyone. I do like talking, so Stuart, you better take it real damn quick while you got the chance. M5STU, which company listening ready for the net? Mike for Yankee Sugar Bravo. Catch you later, cheers.
Yeah, Mike for Yankee Sugar Bravo, G5STU for the final. Yeah, no, it was just a happy accident that length fit perfectly. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that Ultraflex 10, and I've tried other bits and bobs, but that one seemed to work quite well. So, anyway, yeah, it does the trick, Vernon. I look forward to you building one and seeing how you get on with it. Mike 3, Yankee Sugar Bravo, a Golf 5 Sierra Tango United 73.
Right, real quick, did you get a discount with buying the 2 vehicles together, or were they mean and not giving you any discounts? If they didn't, I'll have a word with Chris or shout at him, because I know him personally. I'll say, oi, you should have given discounts to Stuart, because he's actually buying all your products, but no, I think hopefully I should better buy it all just for under maybe 50 or 60 pounds, so that's pretty good. Anyway, we'll discuss this at a later date. We can talk about it till the cows come home, and unfortunately, as you get, my pet hates his antennas and propagation, because, you know, although it's a simple aerial, it's a very, very effective one. Back to you, we'll let you go. Cheers, Davey, bye-bye now.
Yeah, no problems, Vernon. And no, I happen to have 2 anyway for some reason. I can't remember why. I had 2 anyway, so it was all good. Unfortunately, I didn't have 2 for 20 metres, which is what I really wanted, and everyone was out of stock at the time. But anyway, Vernon, I'll say 73, mate, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you on air with your hamstick dipole up. But for now, 73. Okay, anybody else on 40 metres? Golf 5 Sierra Tango United listening?
Mike 7, the Whiskey Delta Radio calling.
Tango, Papa, Tango.
Yeah, a few in there. I hear you, Dave. M7 first, go ahead. Mike 7?
Yeah, Mike 7, the Whiskey Delta Radio calling.
Mike 7, Whiskey Delta Radio. Good evening. The name's Stu, Sugar Tango United, and we're down in Poole in Dorset, over.
No problem at all, my friends. Yeah, my QTH is Liverpool, England, just near Knowsley Safari Park, a place called Prescott, which is about 7 miles out of Liverpool city centre. Personal's Craig there, and you come through 5 by 9, no problems at all.
Yeah, lovely, Craig. You're 5 and 7 with me down in Poole in Dorset, and yeah, I've got family up in Liverpool. Not been there for a good few years, but I've visited a couple of times. I wonder, do you know a premier inn called the Packet Steamer? Go ahead.
I have heard of it. I'm not too sure of its location, but yeah, it's quite a popular one, I think. Yeah, I'm just about 6 or 7 miles out. I don't know whether you're familiar with Knowsley Safari Park, but I'm literally sort of right on it, really. But yeah, I'd say cracking signal in here. Can I just get your call sign again, Stu, if you don't mind?
Yeah, no problems. The call is Golf 5 Sierra Tango United. Germany 5, Stu is the call sign, and yeah, well, the Packet Steamer, I've not said that name for a good few years, probably 10, 20 years since I stayed there. I think it might not be there anymore, but it just came to mind when you said Liverpool, Craig, over.
Oh yeah, no problem at all there, Stu. Yeah, do you have a YouTube channel? I think I might have, I think I might be one of your subscribers, actually. You do sounds quite familiar.
Yeah, Roger. I'm on YouTube. I'm actually live streaming right now at the moment. I'm live streaming on YouTube. I'm live streaming on Facebook. Where else? Twitter, or whatever it's called these days. And tonight, for the first time ever, I'm live streaming on LinkedIn as well. So for all the corporate people out there that are on LinkedIn, you can now watch me on YouTube. How cool is that, Craig? Over?
Oh yeah, that's very good, very good. I've never heard of streaming on LinkedIn, so that's a new one for me. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've watched your stream a couple of times there. Really good sort of viewing there. Yeah, you uploading this, are you, Stu? This particular stream.
Yeah, well, I'm live streaming now, so it'll be on YouTube if you want to go and watch it back now, or watch it back later, or whatever, you know. So it's live now, so it'll be there, well, forever, I guess. Over.
Right, okay, yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, I never thought about it that way. Yeah, I'll just rewind these sort of live back and try and catch it just to see how I'm coming through. Well, listen, Stu, you've probably got loads of people trying to get through to you, because you normally do. So I'll say 73s. Thanks for the contact there. Just got my license about 2 days ago. So I'm normally used to the 10 and 11 metres, but really enjoying these other bands now. I think 555 will be a distant memory very shortly.
Yeah, well, I've just looked at your QRZ there. Actually, you've had 37 lookups. So yeah, well done on passing the M7, and yeah, welcome to the hobby. It's fantastic. And yeah, the only difficult habit to get rid of on ham radio, because you hear it a lot, and as people say in their personal, I think it really rubs people up the wrong way on ham radio. So that would be my tip of the day: is try not to say personal. You can if you want. No one will have a go at you. But it's kind of like there's such an 11-metre thing. Over.
Yeah, no problem at all there. Noted, absolutely noted there, Stu. All right, well, listen, take care of yourself, and I'm sure we'll speak again. 73s and all the best to you.
Yeah, lovely. Thanks for jumping in and saying hello, and we'll catch you next time. M0TPT, you there?
Yeah, M0TPT, G5STU. How you doing, fella?
Yeah, M0TPT, G5STU, and give me another over, Dave. I'll check the meter.
Yeah, no worries. Well, you're 5 and 9 this way. Lovely 5 and 9. No bother at all. Over.
Yeah, no problem, Dave. And 5 and 7, probably 5 and 9 if I was, you know, turned on the preamp. But as you know, we're on the ham stick dipole, 400 watts, and the usual setup. So little birdie tells me you're selling all your amplifiers, Dave, and upgrading. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, they're all got to go, and I'll go get the new one tomorrow. So, well, it's not new; it's second-hand actually. So going down to that favourite ham shop to pick it up, but I'm a bit worried because it's 42 kilos. So God knows how I'm going to get up the stairs. Over.
Yeah, no, they're a big old unit, aren't they? And I take it it's the second-hand one on Martin and Lynch, because I was looking at it last night with Aaron and John. I think, and I said to them, I fancy that, you know, but not obviously not for power, because I've got an Acon 1K, but it's just the auto tuning and the simplicity, David, that brings. Over.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when if we get the extra allocation, yeah, maybe. I've only got a couple of antennas that will take more than my 400 watts complement anyway, so it's neither here or there. But the tuning thing, that's always really interested me, and you know, it creates a big hole on the desk, because I've got a Palstar AT2K, which is probably about 2/3 of the size of the 101MP. So I'm going to gain a little bit of retail space back on the old desk there, put it somewhere down on the floor, and yeah, it should be pretty good. Looking forward to it. Over.
Yeah, lovely. No, I mean, I've had a couple of people that I know have got the 2K. I know obviously Callum's got one. His friend Tom. He's also got one as well, hasn't he? And then you always see, when you're watching Callum's live streams, you always see how easy it is for him to change bands and just basically carry on straight away. And I'm always jealous of that, because I know I'm stuck on 40 meters at the moment, but once I move and you know, I've got access to all the bands again, retuning this amp every time I change band, or even change frequency, to be honest, if you move too far away from your spot frequency, it is a nightmare, Dave. But I guess it's a nice problem to have. Not everyone's fortunate enough to be able to afford or get hold of an amp, Dave. So I guess it's one of these first world problems. Over.
Yeah, exactly that. It is a first world problem, but it's a nice to have, and I'll let you know how I get on. But everywhere that I've read, everybody said once they got the 2K, they moved from either the 1010 or even other amplifiers, they wouldn't go back to an amp that didn't have a built-in tuner. So when you got a few antennas or like you say, flicking around the bands and stuff, it's just going to be breezy, and it gives you loads of information on it as well. So it'll be good fun. It doesn't do 10 meters. It doesn't do 10 megs without modification though, so I'll have to look into that. But to be honest, 100, 200 watts on 10 meters is normally more than enough. But yeah, happy days, mate. I'll let you know how I get on over.
Yeah, Roger. They're discussing power in the chat, so let's do a little experiment with some power, Dave. I'm currently running the full legal limit at the moment, and I'm just dialing it down, and I'm going to dial it down to minimum drive. That's 5 watts drive, and I think we're getting about 50, maybe 100 watts out of the ACOM, Dave. What's my signal report now?
Yeah, 5 and 6, still a radio 5 though. 5 and 6, still an easy radio 5, easy copy, mate.
Yeah, lovely. 1, 2. Okay, let's put it back up to where it should be. Yeah, it's always interesting to do some power tests, isn't it? Because as we all know, it's all about the antenna really, and the amplifier just sort of boosts your audio, doesn't it, really? But if you've got a good antenna, then the power is it's not necessarily essential unless there's a bit of QSB about. But anyway, Dave, lovely to work you, mate, and I'll see if there's anybody else wants to jump in and say hello. Well, we're doing a live stream tonight. M0TPT G5SG. All the best, Dave.
All the best, mate. Take care.
QRZ Golf 5 Sierra Tango United.
Mike 0 Charlie X-Ray Tango.
M0 Charlie X-Ray Tango. Good evening, Julian. How are you today?
Yeah, good evening, Stu. Nice to talk to you this evening, and lovely signal 5 and 9 plus 10 into Bury Nedlands, and all good this way. How's things with you, Ever?
Yeah, lovely, Julian. Yeah, you were peaking up to almost a 5.9 there. We're on IPO mode today, and I think you've got a similar radio. You've got the DX10, Julian, haven't you?
Yes, I've got Darren M0 DCX's old FCDX10 over.
Yeah, Roger. I can't quite figure out whether the needle is correct on IPO mode or AMP 1. It seems to feel more accurate on AMP 1, but maybe that's because I'm using a hamstick dipole. If I had a full-size dipole up in a garden or something, maybe I'd be getting stronger signals. But there we go. But yeah, no, we're doing well, and we're talking about amplifiers and powers tonight, it seems. So let's continue the subject. And Darren, I think it was mentioned that you and him were discussing potentially getting amplifiers over.
Yes. Well, it's on the cards, and we're talking about it, and we're going to try and negotiate a group buy. only two, as it were, but we're going to try and negotiate something. Not just yet, but maybe later next month or a bit further down the road. But I think 100 watts is okay, but you get to the point where I'm hearing DX stations, but they're struggling to hear me, and I just think, having heard you do, I listened to the test you did just a couple of minutes ago, and listened to ones you've done previously. Even with I know the antenna system that you've got and what I've got. I just think that bit of extra oomph is going to have to hopefully punch through and get you heard, over.
Yeah, Roger. And it's the way I look at it is, I put myself through the effort of getting the full license, and so therefore, if I'm allowed 400 watts, then I'm going to use them. If I need them. When I had access to the higher bands, I didn't really use the amp on 20 meters. I used to go on 20 and 40 a lot when I could get on 20, and I rarely ever even bothered tuning up the amp on 20 for most of the contacts I made. But like you say, when there's something a bit rare comes up on frequency, for example, Bobby VPA ADR in the Falklands, he was calling in one day, and I wasn't making the trip on the 100 watts, so I went to the effort of tuning up the amp and made the contact. It's that sort of scenario of where you're glad you've got it, Julian, over.
Yes, now you just hit the nail on the head where you said tuning up the amp, because we're kind of on the cusp of, are we looking at valve amps or are we looking at solid state? And I'm very much a modern solid state guy. Everything I do is at work we've got solid state fibre laser cutters, and I've got solid state switch mode power supply. Everything I do is modern gear, and valves to me just
to invest in a valve amp, in 2023 seems to me like a little bit of backward step, but then I could be making a massive mistake, and there's people with feet in both camps, and it's difficult to separate the two. Over.
Yeah, no, exactly that. And I was the same when I bought this Acon 1000. I was aware that the valve amps. Obviously, I had no experience of using amps. I had a little RM 505, a little, supposedly 300 watt solid state amp before this one, and that got me from 100 up to about 180 on 40 meters, and that did make the world of difference. To be fair, all of a sudden, people the people I normally talk to, Kev, Dave, and those sort of people, all of a sudden, they're giving me 5 and 9 rather than sort of 5, 5, 5, 7. So that jump to 200 is quite significant. But when I went for the Acon, I was fully aware that if I didn't get a valve amp, then I'd have to basically invest in quite an expensive tuner as well, I think, to go along an amp, depending on which one you get. So this amp will quite happily deal with an SWR of 3, 4, 5 or whatever. It just doesn't care. You just get the reflected power, but it'll still carry on. Over.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know how tolerant valve amps are compared to solid state ones, and my end-fed half wave it's okay on 80, on 40, and also a 15 and 10. The walk band, I think 17 is usable on the tuner, but obviously if I put the amp on, that's going to negate that. But I don't really use it very much, to be fair. The amount of time I get to spend on the radio, I'm mainly on here and 20 meters.
GCH.
So I think perhaps
Hey, Darren.
state one's the way to go, but we'll see. It's early days yet, and I think, but there's a lot of talk, obviously, at the moment about the license changing and possibly a kilowatt coming in, and then I was originally looking at a 700 amp, which they reckon that you can bang out 500 watts on all day and be quite happy, and then you think, well, if you're going to get a kilowatt, and is it worth spending a couple of £100 or extra on extra power? I don't know. It's just. And you spend so long thinking about it, you just think, I don't know, just shall I bother?
Yeah, no, exactly that. And we've got Darren as well, who's just joined us. So as you're good friends with Darren, we'll bring Darren in. Go ahead, Darren.
Hello, great to get you both. You didn't waste too much time, Julian. I just dropped you off. I'm still full up for the meal. I thank you very much for that, Julian. I surely wasn't expecting you to pay for that, but that was a lovely meal, mate. Enjoyed every minute of it. Back to you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And nice to get out for a change and have a chat that's not on the radio. Over.
I totally agree. It's a shame Chris wasn't about, but we had a lovely time, and Claire said that was a fantastic meal, so clearly as good as it was the last time we went, you'd have to make that a regular for you, Julian.
Yeah, will do. I was just talking to Stu about amplifiers and our decision that we're sort of trying to come to between valved and solid state, and obviously Stu's on the valve amp there, and I'm leaning more towards the solid state, and I think you're still on the fence. Over.
Yeah, I mean, it's only because they're more forgiving. I know the ones that we've been looking at have only got the one input, so you can only have the one antenna on it. And I'm thinking of plugging mine into the DX Commander, which is very resonant on most of the things that I'll want to use it on. So I'm not so worried so much about a solid state one, worrying about what that might do, if you like, to a solid state. I'm resonant on everything. It's just obviously you can give the valve ones a bit more stick. I didn't know what the life of them were. You know what they're like when you start reading on these forums and everything, and people are saying, don't go for tubes. Others are saying, don't go for solid state. Before you know it, you're totally utterly confused. Back to you.
D5 SDA. Yeah, no, well, that's it. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't really. I'm the sort of person, I'll buy something and then I'll do the research afterwards and realise I've made a mistake, I'm so impatient. Once I've decided I'm buying something, that's it, it's bought. and then I'll spend the next sort of 48 hours on YouTube looking at every single video I can find to learn everything about it and to see if I've made a mistake or not. But I'm very happy with this ACOM 1K. I bought it from Martin & Lynch. It was second hand. I think I paid about 2,200 and something for it, probably 6 months ago now. And the only thing I was worried about with these is obviously the Russian tubes and being able to get hold of those. And there's rumours that if they go and you're trying to buy one, you're potentially looking somewhere up towards £1,000. But I've managed to get a second-hand one, just a backup, if you like, for 300 quid off a dealer over in the Netherlands. So that takes that worry away, Darren, over.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. If you can do that. I did hear recently, actually, I think I only joined today. Julian's been on it a few weeks, but on the Facebook ACOM site. Basically, I think I read in there somewhere where people were saying that the price of the tubes have gone up quite extensively over the last sort of 12 months. So, but then having said that, I read through the 1200S, which was the one we were initially looking at. It was between the 700 and the 1200S, and for there only being £500 in it, we're basically talking about £1 a watt for the extra between the 700 and the 500. Between that and the 1200. So it's almost as far as those two amplifiers go, a no-brainer really to go for the 1200. But I did hear that obviously if you have problems with finals on one of those, it then proves very expensive and timely job. So swings and roundabouts with it all. I just quite like the lazy man's approach. Stu, back to you.
G5SDE. Yeah, well that's it. I mean, I've actually been looking at the ACOM 2K recently, and it's not from the power. It's more from the fact that it's the only valve amp that I'm aware of, the ACOM one anyway, that literally does all the auto tuning and stuff. Obviously, you've seen Callum live streaming, and you've seen how easy it is for him to change bands and change frequency. There's just no. It's like the amp doesn't exist. It just follows along, and that's what I want. That's what I want here. Well, maybe not here, but when I move house in the not too distant future, and I put up the hex beam, and I've got room for various antennas. I just want that simplicity, especially with live streaming as well, because you don't want to be stopping every time you change band to tune up for a minute. And so the ACOM 2K, not for the power, but for everything else that comes with it. Over to Julian.
M0CXT, yeah, I think there was somebody on the side there just as I keyed up, but perhaps I'm getting them on the next over. But that's I just like the simplicity of it, and I kind of trust the newer technology maybe a little bit more, and just what you said to me about Russian valves and the availability just made me go, I don't know, if you do blow a valve and then you have to wait and try and find one, and then your kit's down while you source it, and you've either got to do the fix yourself rather than send it away. I just think is the solid state a little bit more robust? Perhaps that's leaning me a little bit more that way. And the other side to it is to do with I don't like to overwork my gear, whether it be my radio or my car or whatever it is. I don't want to pump it to the max the whole time, so rather than get the 500 watt amp and then driving it at 500 or 450 watts or whatever, or even with like a car, if you've got a car that's got 300 brake horsepower, if you're going to blast it about all the time at about 200 brake horsepower, that's fine, but you don't buy a sort of a mid-range souped up 1.6 engine car that can just about top out at 200, and black that about everywhere because you're going to blow the engine up. No, that's my thinking anyway. Stu, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely that. And when I went to buy this 1K, I was actually looking at the 1010. I'm not sure what they are. I think they're 600-700 watts. Obviously, now that they're proposing the increase in power, I guess I'm glad I went for the 1K instead. But like you say, if ever I did want to run 1K, you wouldn't want to be running it flat out, would you? And that's the thing. But the ACOM 1K is supposedly, I think it's the only ACOM, isn't it? Or you can run it literally, you can run it full kilowatt non-stop all day long. It's full duty cycle, so it's designed to do it. Julian, over.
Yes, well, that's it. it's a different technologies at the end of the day, and I'm still really not that really au fait with the nuances between the valve technology and the solid state and the tolerances of the two. So maybe a bit more research to do over the next couple of 3 weeks, and then we'll look at it. So I'll pass it back round to Darren. But before I go to you, I'm away for the next 8 or so days. I don't know if I'll get time, but hopefully I'm going to get a chance to operate as 8 Papa 9 Alpha Kilo, and maybe 20 metres. I don't know if you've got 20 metres or 15 metres or something higher, but I'll see if I can escape for a few hours and operate if you're able to do those bands, over.
Yeah, lovely. I can't do the bands at home, but I can certainly get out portable or mobile. I'm 2 minutes drive from the seafront here, you know. Well, not seafront. Well, it is seafront. It's a slipway. It's where all the boats go out. So I wouldn't call it a beach, but there is a bit of sand down there. But there we go. Yeah, that'd be great, Julian, if we can work you on that call. And okay, all the best, Julian. Thanks for calling in. Peaking 5.9 last heard, and Darren, you were a good 5.9 as well. Over.
Yeah, as were you. I logged you as a 5.9, Stu. You'll see it on your cloud. So, but I was aware. I thought, I'm logging him now. I've not given him his report. He'll probably see it before I've said it. Back to you.
Yeah, well, I've been pending. I've had my finger hovering over the log button there, and all good, mate. Anyway, thanks for jumping in, Julian and Darren. I'll say 7-3 for now. I have got the live stream going. I don't know if you've realised, but I'll put out a few more calls and see if anybody else wants to tell me about amplifiers. Over.
Mike 7 Romeo Foxtrot Sugar QRP. 7 Radio Echo Sierra.
Okay, we'll catch you later, Julian and Darren. Mike 7 Romeo again.
Yeah, thank you for having me quite a bit. Mike 7 Romeo Foxtrot Sierra. Operation hour. Morecambe, Roger.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me just turn the RF gain back a little bit. You're right on the noise there. M7 Romeo Fox Sierra, I think that is. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is Golf 5 Sierra Tango United. And I'll give you about a 4 and a 5, maybe a 5 and a 5. We'll see what you like this time round. Go ahead.
Yankee myself to you. I'm up in Morecambe using 10 watts with a G90 and then fed hardware. You're 5 and 9 plus 10. And you were 5 and 9 on 5 watts, Roger?
Yeah, Roger, the 5 watts. I've got you on a 5 and a 4, 54. 54 is your report. And, yeah, hearing every word. So 5 watts. So just remind me, what was the radio and the antenna, Alan? Go ahead.
The radio was a G90, 10 watts, and the antenna is fed half wave. And I also have a half square, Roger.
Yeah, lovely. Now we're certainly doing the trek down to Poole, and I'm using a ham stick dipole, so 2 mobile ham sticks, horizontal, about 15 metres above the ground here. I'm on the 3rd floor of the building, at the top floor, and it's a good few metres above the apex of the roof here. So that's what we're receiving on down at Poole Harbour next to the sea, Alan. Thanks for the quick contact. Great to get you in the log on the 5 watts, Alan. Over.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Jimmy, please.
All the best. Many thanks. So Golf 5 Sierra Tango United listening.
7 Radio Echo Sierra.
Golf 7 Romeo Echo Sierra. Good evening, Gary. How are you today?
Hello, Stu. Yeah, very well, thank you. You're good signal down here on the island this evening. It's 5 and 9. So audio is very, very clear and patchy. So a few birds off this evening, over.
Yeah, lovely, Gary. You're 5 and 5 here. I think we had a bit of radar on you over there, but hearing every word. And just tell me, what's your setup there on the Isle of Wight, Gary? Over.
Yeah, okay. It's ICO IC 7300. It's a 10-metre wire for 9 to 1 or 49 to 1 colour. It's only about 12 feet off the ground. So running speaking at about 60 watts at the moment. Over.
Yeah, about 60 watts there. Yeah, lovely job. Okay, well, you're 7300 and you're end-fed, doing a grand job. Just a short hop across the water here, isn't it, from Poole Harbour, Gary? But lovely to get you in the log today, mate, and thanks for calling in. We'll catch you next time, over.
Yeah, okay, Stu, I'll let you get on. I'm off the bed shortly because I've been up since 2 o'clock. So have fun tonight. I'll stay probably to the end of your broadcast this evening, but have fun. I'll speak to you soon. G7RES.
Yeah, lovely job. Thanks, Gary. And I've got the live stream going. We're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn for the first time tonight, and also Twitter. I've lost track, but yeah, we're all over the place tonight. Just just trying the LinkedIn stream for the first time. I've never done it before, so if anybody's watching on LinkedIn, hello. Golf 5, Sierra Tango United, listening. CQ4 TCQ, Golf 5, Sierra Tango United. Golf 5, Sierra Tango United, listening. CQ4 TCQ, Germany 5, Sierra Tango United. Golf 5, Sierra Tango United, calling CQ.
Mike 0, Golf Quebec Charlie.
Oh, James, Mike 0, Golf Quebec Charlie. I managed to type you in correctly the first time today, James, over.
Yeah, EBQ watching on the live. Just realised I was transmitting without the amp. I only had 10 watts there, now 250 watts. So very timely. You were talking about power earlier, so I don't know how much difference that's made. You're 5'9" with me, over?
Yeah, that made a massive difference, James. I could barely hear you when you called in. You were about a 5 and a 3, and you've jumped up, into the 7, 8, 9s now. So you went from barely readable to crystal clear, James, over.
Roger, okay, yeah, I was getting a bit keen there and decided to give you a call and then realised I'd forgotten to flick the switch, so there you go, a moment of absent-mindedness. Yeah, just watching on the stream, so I thought I'd call in, give you a shout and support the other creators, as it were. You're doing a fine job with that hand-stick dipole tonight, Ever?
Yeah, M0, Golf Quebec Charlie, Golf 5, Sierra Tango United with a cough. And I appreciate you calling in. Not too busy tonight. I was just sort of, I was doing some work on Station Master tonight, and I'd finished what I was doing, and I thought, you know what, while I've got the radio on, I was testing the integration with the radio and stuff. I thought, while I'm here, I've got the radio on, I'm going to fire it up and do a little live stream. And I've got LinkedIn, I'm streaming on LinkedIn as well, James, for the first time ever. I'm not sure whether it's worthwhile, but hey-ho, the option is there. Why not use it? So what's your plans for the upcoming weekend, James? Any radio activity?
From M0GQ6. To be honest, I didn't even know that you could live stream on LinkedIn, so that's a new one on me. Plans for this weekend is working. I'm on a day shift on Saturday and Sunday. Then we've hired as you know, we've hired the packing shed on Monday night. So we'll be playing a little bit of radio by the saltwater. Probably do something live on Monday night. I don't know what time you normally do your live stream. I need to try and time it so I don't clash with you, because I think you normally do a regular stream on Monday nights. If I'm not mistaken, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. We normally do Monday for an hour from 8 o'clock, but I think you're more sort of preferring 9 o'clock start, James, aren't you?
It varies. I normally go about 8 o'clock, but I think there's probably more people on at 9 o'clock. So I'll see how it goes. But if you're favouring 8 o'clock, I'll try and tailor mine towards 9 o'clock, and who knows, maybe do what I did with Jonathan the other day. I warmed up the frequency for him and then handed it over. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was manic, wasn't it? I didn't see. I was actually on air at the time when you were streaming. I was actually streaming onto my Station Master platform as a test, so obviously you wouldn't have seen it. But so I was doing a live stream before Jonathan went on air just to test my system out, and I saw you go live, and then obviously James, I've forgotten his name, Jonathan as well, and yeah, he had the main pile up, didn't he? So you really did warm that up for him. So maybe I can do the same for you on Monday, James. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Unfortunately, I'd already booked a load of holiday off over the last sort of weekend and stuff, so booking further holidays at short notice just wasn't going to happen, James, over?
Yeah, no worries. I appreciate that, and it wasn't. It was a bit short notice as well. I didn't give you the most amount of notice, but I'm hoping that with that lovely saltwater amplifier, aerial literally above the sea, then that should work really, really well. So hoping to cause a bit of a stir on 40, and then as we go into the night, probably into the morning, hope to get through to Australia as well. I've got my new Moxon beam up. I just put a Moxon beam up at my home QTH on the 12-metre mast, and
I had that pointing towards Australia yesterday morning, and I was getting the Australians coming in an S9 long path, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to salt water. And also I want to run the AMP into the Moxon beam. I haven't rigged up the AMP to run on the Moxon beam yet, so that's on my list of things to do. It needs a tiny bit of tuning though before I put the AMP on it. The SWR is a tiny bit high, so just needs a bit of a tweak before I start running power through it. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess, I mean, I live next to the sea, so the sea isn't as much as a novelty for me, James. I guess you're right in the middle of the country, are you? I guess you couldn't get as far away from the sea if you tried. So it certainly does make the world a difference. It really does. You know, I've even just driving around with a mobile whip up, and then I drive through town, and then drive into the car park next to the sea, and as soon as you get within sort of 50, 100 metres of the sea, it just starts coming to life. You know, I know people have done tests where they've been miles inland and compared it to being next to the sea and stuff, but I think that's, I don't know, I think you kind of, to get the full benefit, in my experience, is you basically have to be within, you know, a few wavelengths, I guess, of whatever band you're on, is kind of what you want to aim for. I mean, I've tried actually driving down the slipway. I was talking to a chap in Australia on 20 metres, VK2EX Paul, and I literally drove the car down the slipway, and it made no difference whether I was sort of, you know, 20, 50 metres away from the sea or in it. It just didn't make any difference, you know, on that particular day anyway. But I've got it on my, if you're watching my live stream now, on the screen there's a little marker point on the screen, and if I change to satellite, you can see there's a little pontoon sort of thing right in the middle of Poole Harbour, and what it is when they're doing yacht races and stuff, there's a little hut on top of there. It's got a roof, it's a little building, it's probably about 4 or 5 metres square, and they go in there and wave all the flags, you know, and start the races and stuff, and it's right in the middle of Poole Harbour. I'm just zooming out now, and you can kind of see. Now, I want to get hold of a guy with a boat and trundle across to that for an evening and stick a vertical or something up on the roof and see how that works, James. What do you think to that, over?
I think that would be absolutely awesome. Well, that would be on the par with what I'm hoping to do on Monday, I think. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess the way to do that would be talk to the yacht club and see if they'll let us rent it. We might have to pay some money or something, but if we did it as even if you got a couple of people on board, did it as a group effort, offer them a couple of £100 or something, take it over for the evening. I don't know, might be possible, but I think you're absolutely right. The salt water does really, really help. I've always been impressed by your ham-stick dipole with getting it up nice and high, just how quiet it is. I was thinking about doing the same here, but I get the funny feeling that because I'm so far inland and away from any body of water, I'm not convinced it would provide the same results. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I mean, fortunately, I used to work with somebody who was in the local rowing club, and I think they had something to do with that place as well. And my former employer in town that I used to build websites for, they actually sponsored that yacht pontoon. So one of their companies is advertised on the side of it. So I've got a few channels to investigate for trying to get permission to use it for a night. So yeah, I mean, if you were up for coming down for a night and going out there, if we can arrange it, then that'd be fantastic. But yeah, we'll see. But okay then, James, I'm going to see if there's any more people on 40. I was calling for a while there before you came back, so perhaps not tonight. But hey ho, if you don't try, you never know, James. Over.
Yeah, well, absolutely. If the opportunity's there and you want someone to split the cost with, I'd absolutely love to get down there if we can do it when I'm off work, or if I can get the time off work, I'd absolutely love to do that. That sounds like great fun. Anyway, I'll let you get on. I wish you the best for 7-3. Thanks for the chat there, Stu, and hope you make a few more contacts. All the best, my friend. 7-3.
Yeah, lovely, James. Good 5-9 throughout there as well. Once you turned on the amplifier. All the best, mate. 7-3.
Mike 7 Romeo Foxtrot Sugar Stu.
Mike 7 Foxtrot Romeo Yankee.
Yeah, a couple of M7s in there. Mike 7 Romeo Fox Sierra. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger, I'm on the R-square antenna, just testing the antenna tuned on the D90. I just spoke to you 10 minutes ago. You had me down for London and Bolton. I'm actually in Morecambe with 10 watts, Roger.
Oh, you're in Morecambe, are you? Well, you're 5 and 5 at the moment. Not a problem copying you there. And have you changed something since you last called in? Is that what you're saying, over?
Yeah, QSL, I'm using the R-square antenna at the moment. I was using the NZ R-wave before, and I'm tuning it up. It's a 20-metre antenna, tuned up on 40 metres, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah. Well, let's say 5 and 4 on average. It did change between the overs there, but so I think you said you're in Morecambe. Is that right?
Yeah, my brother's QTH, the work QTH in Morecambe Bay, and not in Bolton at the moment, but you have me down for being in London.
Yeah, that'll be because of your QRZ. You haven't got your QRZ page set correctly with your location, over.
Roger, so I need to change that to Bolton. Okay, thank you. Anyway, just thought I'd do a little experiment, and as far as the sea goes, you put the counterpoise in the water, or some wet sand after the tide's just gone out, and see the difference, Roger?
Yeah, Roger. No, I've heard that. I've never done it myself, but I've seen people that have done it. And interesting. I'll have to give that a go one day. But the location thing on QRZ, just go in and edit your settings, and there's a little map in there, and you can drag your pin around as to where you are located. And then when people look you up, it will be correct on their maps. Alan, go ahead.
Yes, QSL. Okay, thank you, and 7 please, and I'm watching the stream actually, that's how I noticed it. Okay, 7 please, mate, thank you.
Yeah, no problems, Alan. Lovely to talk to you today on your QRP and your R-square. Is it R-square or half-square? I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with those antennas, but anyway, there was another M7 calling in. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Mike 7, Foxtrot, Lima Yankee. Mike 7, Foxtrot, Lima Yankee.
Yeah, I've got you. I peaked about 5 and 5 on the call-in, Jeff, and I'm pretty sure we've worked before, but you've not come up in me log, so maybe it was on another call sign. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, Roger that. I just thought I'd give you a call before I got there. Yeah, you're coming through a good 5 and 9 plus here. I'm plus about nearly 10. It's good audio and good signal. And okay, yourself.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, well, we're putting 400 watts into a ham stick dipole this way next to the sea, so obviously that will help. And yeah, you're a good, I would say 5 and 6 actually, that over. 5 and 6, not a problem copying you. And yeah, sure, I've recognised the call sign, and maybe somebody else has got a similar one, but I've used a few different call signs over the years, you know, special event calls and stuff, so maybe you're in one of my other logbooks, Jeff. But sounding great today, and I'll put it back round to you. M7FLY, G5STU.
G5STU, M7FLY, yeah, Roger that. I think we have worked before, some time ago. My setup here is the Year 2 FT950 with a Kenwood tuner. The aerial is an inverted V with a 1-to-1 balance, single class bed, and the Kenwood 230 tuner. I've got what they call an ugly round at the back of it, and it gives me 4 maps that I can tune up to yourself.
Yeah, lovely. No, you can't beat an ugly balun, can you, HI? In fact, I was listening to some other guys in the Discord channel having an argument the other night about what size former and how many turns to do, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how accurate they are. How scientific do you have to be to get them to work properly? Over.
Yeah, Roger that. I think if you can get on YouTube, there's pictures of them being made. It's about a 4-inch tube, but I think the collapse is about 20 foot, and it's on the back. I put it through the tuner, and I can get 80, 40, 20, and 15. And the SWR is literally near on 0. On the odd one, it might be 1 or 1, but on most of them it's 0. Good.
Yeah, lovely. No, we're happy days. I mean, I've only got one antenna at the moment, this ham stick dipole, but hoping to move soon. and I've got a hex beam and a tower or big sort of fold-over mast thing to put up eventually once I find somewhere to put it. I'm thinking about making it into a trailer actually, and just sort of cart it around with my truck, and then when I do get a house I can just pull the trailer up on the garden and just fold it up, and then it's classed as a temporary structure then, isn't it? And that might help me circumvent any any planning issues. Jeff, over.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, I've got a mobile. There's a new one, still not a new one, and a slide one. It's called slide winder, that's it. And the guy in Morecambe actually recommended it to me. And a friend of mine who does a lot of mobile, and it really works. They've got like a disc around the coil, and you can move this disc up and down to the frequency, to the SWR as it's blowing. So, and it works pretty well, but...
Excuse me. Yeah, no, I've got one, and a friend of mine actually made some himself using a 3D printer, and that worked just as well, you know. But yeah, the only problem with those is, yeah, they do work. Don't get me wrong, they work once you've got them tuned up, but they are a pain, or they can be a pain to tune when you're changing frequency and bands and stuff. And also when they get wet and stuff in the rain, they're not too happy either. I've found. So yeah, I kind of lean away from those now. I try to lean towards just using ham sticks because you just plug them in and off you go, you know. Just hit the tune button and happy days. But yeah, no, the slide winders do work, and obviously they will get you on many bands. So there's certainly a market for them, and I will continue to use mine in certain scenarios. But yeah, I don't know. The tuning of them, jumping in and out of the car or running backwards and forwards, it annoys me a little bit, Jeff. But yeah, no, they're great antenna when they're working, over.
Yeah, roger that. I fully understand. I was talking to my friend about it, and I think he's got the same as you. He has one, he just pushes a button and it moves the slide up and down, and that's what he's got, and he loves it over.
Yeah, I think that'll be the ATAS, won't it? ATAS 120 or whatever it is. Yeah, they're very. I know a few people have got those. They're certainly convenient. I'm not sure how efficient they are and how good they are, but they get you on the air, and yeah, without too much fuss. So it's always a balancing act, isn't it, between convenience and performance? But it all depends on which one you value most. I prefer convenience more, I think. But having said that, the ham sticks that I use, they're no slouch, you know. They're pretty good antennas. So anyway, Jeff, lovely to get you in the log today, and great to work some M7s tonight on low power. So it's good conditions tonight, it seems. We'll see if we can pull a few more in before we pull the plug. But back round for you for a final, Jeff, and we'll see if there's anybody else about. Mike 7, Fox Lima Yankee, Golf 5, Sierra Tango United.
Yeah, Golf 5 and pulling up LY, yeah, roger that. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky really where I live. I'm pretty high up, and the area's about 50 feet up, and I'm literally over Morecambe Bay, and I can see to see from where I live, and that's why I get, especially when it's nice, and I get a hell of a people. 73, and good luck, over.
Yeah, no problems. And I've been to Morecambe once, actually. I used to live in the Lake District, and I DJ'd at the Student Union bar in Ambleside, the St. Martin's College Student Union it was called at the time. A friend of mine was the vice president of the Student Union, and I was a DJ, so I got the resident DJ job. I was there for a couple of years. A fantastic time, but the DJ decks basically broke one day, and the only place we could find one local was in Morecambe. There was a DJ or disco shop down in Morecambe, so we went for a little drive to buy a new set of decks for the club. So yeah, there we go. That was the last time I went to Morecambe. All the best, Jeff. 7-3.
Yeah, 73, and good luck.
Many thanks. Anybody else before we pull the plug? Germany 5, Sierra Tango United.
Mike 794, Uniform Delta.
Uniform Delta, stand by. Was that Nick in Eastbourne?
Yeah, mate, how are you?
Yeah, just remind me of the call.
7 November Hotel Charlie, Stu.
Yeah, I recognised the voice, and I heard you. I was shortwave listening a bit earlier on today, and I heard you having a chat with somebody else. So, yeah, very familiar voice, Nick. I'll check meter next time round, and I've not looked at your QRZ page, but I'm pretty sure you used to play football. You were talking about a knee operation, so I guess you're not doing it anymore, over?
No, I'm due to have I've had my right knee replaced, I've had both my hips replaced, and I'm having my left knee replaced on the 30th of November, so it's all fun playing football, Jeff. It doesn't do you any good though, mate. That's what happens when you run around a lot.
Yeah, well that's it, isn't it? The same with all these sort of sports and stuff. You have to give it 110%, don't you, for the whole time you're there, and you come out the other end pretty much knackered over.
Yeah, I know. Well, back in my day, there wasn't that many players in our squad at Palace. We only had 14 players. So if you're injured, they used to kick you out and used to play injured as well. You know, nowadays they've got 2 teams they can put out.
Yeah, Roger. I mean, I'm not big on football, to be honest with you. I mean, I quite like rugby. I'm not hugely into many sports. I'm more into motorsports, if I'm honest. I did watch a bit of football growing up, but the thing that annoys me, and I'd love to hear your take on it, being a football player, is all the ballet dancing that goes on, and the fake falling over and all that sort of nonsense. That just puts me off completely, Nick. Over.
Mike 7 November, Hotel Charlie returning. Yeah, it's completely changed. In my day, it was much more of a man's game. We used to be able to kick each other. We used to get stuck in. I think a lot of the players back in my day wouldn't last 5 minutes now. They'd be sent off or double booked twice. It was more of a man's game in those days there, Jeff. We used to take it and just get up and just get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's why I kind of stopped watching. Really, I just got fed up with it all. But I sort of tune in maybe World Cup sort of times and whatever. But yeah, I love the Formula One. That's my sport, Nick. Over.
Yeah, fine. That's you. I called you Jeff there, I think, for some reason. It's good stuff, isn't it? Although it can, again, that's a sport. Max Verstappen's got it made, hasn't he? He's got the best car. He's probably the best driver. And it's really, it's not that. I don't find it that interesting to watch now because you know who's going to win there, Stu. Over.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I guess it's always been like that, isn't it? You know, when Schumacher had his run of success when I was growing up, he was always winning, and obviously you've had Lewis Hamilton. I'm not a big Hamilton fan, if I'm honest with you. I used to be back in the day, before he sort of turned into Snoop Dogg or whatever he's trying to be these days. Trying to change the world and all the woke nonsense. Yeah, I'm not up for all of that. But I appreciate his talent for sure. But the rest of it I could do without. But the thing is, I tell you what, the one thing it does make me laugh though is you've got 2 drivers with identical cars, and you never seem to have 2 drivers that can keep up with each other, do you? There's always one that's lacking behind. With Perez at the moment, he's just not on the same level as Verstappen, is he? And all of Lewis's partners have never been on the same level. Maybe Nicky Rosberg for a year, but you kind of almost feel like he was just sort of allowed to win that year, Nick. Over.
Yeah, Nico Rosberg and Hamilton, I suppose, were the closest. I think, did they come first and second one year? I'm not sure, but I think they might have done. But yeah, like you say, they're using it one driver who's better than the other because the cars are the same, aren't they? So yeah, it's quite unusual that really, though, isn't it? If you think that there's so much, there's not much time difference between the laps, is there? They're half a second, quarter of a second, something like that, and you'd think that they would be closer in times, wouldn't you? But there you go. And I went over, mate. I'll let you go. I think there was someone else calling you there. And I will see you. It's great to hear you, mate, and great to talk to you again. I'm going to follow you. I'm following you tonight on your YouTube channel, and I've subscribed to your channel as well there, Stu. So keep up the good work, mate. Back to you.
Yeah, lovely, Nick. Well, it's lovely to talk to you today. There's not a huge amount of people calling in, so I'm just having a bit of waffle tonight. A bit of a waffle stream. Mike 7 November Hotel Charlie. Thanks for calling in, Nick. Thanks for watching, subscribing, and everything else. We'll catch you next time. G5STU 73.
Stu, good luck to you, mate. Bye-bye.
Okay, I told someone to stand by, but I've forgotten your call. Go ahead.
Hey, Stu, it's Win here. Golf Whiskey 4, Tango Uniform Delta. Are you okay, mate?
Yeah, GW4TUD. Good evening, Win. And yeah, I spoke to you the other night, actually. I've forgotten which night it was. I did a live stream, but it was a kind of a live stream onto my own platform, so it wasn't on YouTube or anything. And I've actually watched that video back about 5 or 6 times since then because it was such a good session on the radio. I spoke to a lot of people, had a lot of good conversations, so it was one of the best hour and a half or whatever that I've actually had on the radio, Win, of late. And you were the first contact. Over.
Ah, fantastic. G5STU, GW4TUD returning. Yeah, fine there, Stu. Excellent stuff. Yeah, that was I enjoyed the evening as well. It was a week ago, Stu. I'm just looking back in the log.
I've got a paper log here. I don't have a I don't have a software log. I started one, crikey, back in 1990 something, when they first came out, and I used it for a little bit, and then I gave up. I've got logbooks going back to 1981 when I was first licensed, Stu, so I had to look back to see when we last worked. Yeah, it was a week ago. And yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. I only worked you and James down on the beach, but that was good enough. It was great. So very good fun indeed. So there we are. Yeah, conditions have been pretty good as well. I was down on the beach, slightly different spot night before last. And 17 metres was really, 15 metres was really good. Worked about 9, 10, 11 stateside stations. And managed to work a chap in Pennsylvania, and we dropped down to 2 watts both ways. And we're still no problems copying about 5 and 5 on 2 watts, Stu. So great to have conditions improving at long last. So I'm obviously working from home at the moment using the TS830 and the random wire end-fed, which is a sloper which slopes down, which I think I explained to you. Very simple aerial, but you could 5 and 9 here, Stu, no problems at all. Put it back to you, G5STU, GW4TUD portable.
Yeah, G5, excuse me, G5STU returning. And well, looking at your profile picture there, Win, you don't really look old enough to be a G4. I don't know what years they were issued, but you look like a young chap. I'm 45 or thereabouts, but yeah, I got into radio as a teenager, but never actually got licensed until recently. You know, I was really into it, but growing up on a farm out in the sticks, it was just wasn't going to happen. Getting to a club and doing all that sort of stuff. So yeah, a bit of a latecomer, but obviously you didn't allow that to get in the way. You just got on with it, Winover.
Yeah, from GW4TUD portable. Yeah, that photo's about, I don't know how long ago that was done. 10 years, a bit more years ago. So I was younger then. I've gone a lot more grey since then, Stu. That was before the grey hairs appeared. But yeah, I was licensed in 81. I was 14 when I took the RAE. And I was thinking back about it the other day, and I was thinking, gosh, how long things took back then. Because I took the RAE in May, the radio amateurs examination. I had to go to a local college of further education to take it. I studied myself. I got a book called the Radio Amateurs Examination Manual, and I just used that. I didn't do any lessons or anything. I just sort of did it at my own time. And my dad did it as well, so we were both licensed at the same time. So we took the exam in May, and we had to wait till September, Stu, for the call sign to come through. And I was 15 then. I was 15 in July. So did the exam in May. I had to wait till September. So my first call sign was GW6FHA, Foxtrot Hotel Alpha. And my dad's was the one before. He was GW6 Foxtrot Golf Zulu. And then I decided I wanted to go on to HF, so I had to study for the CW exam. So I did that in 1983. And I've got the postcard. There's a little postcard which I was looking through some old stuff the other day. And there's a postcard. I had to take the CW test up in the BT Coastal radio station up in Anglesey. And I applied to do the test in January of 83. And I got a postcard. I was looking at the postcard saying, thank you for your application, we're looking into it, sort of thing. Anyway, another postcard came through, and I eventually did the CW test in May. So January to May, I had to wait. And then the license, this license, my current license, came through in, I think that was June, I think it was. So long gaps, long periods of waiting, Stu, which at that age is a difficult thing to put up with. I'm more resigned to things at the age I am now. I'm 57 now, Stu.
turned in July. So things have changed in those 40 years. From GW4TUD portable. You keep saying portable, not portable. From GW4TUD, back to you, Stu.
Yeah, G5STU, and well, I mean, good on you for getting on and doing it, and that would really annoy me, even now, I'm so impatient. Once I decide I want to do something, I want it done that day, But yeah, for me, as soon as, obviously with the lockdown and stuff, I was working from home, and I was basically just looking for stuff to do online. They moved the drone. I was into drones and flying drones, and I was looking at maybe even setting up a drone sort of related business at the time, and you needed to take the course. So during lockdown, they actually moved all that online. You didn't have to go to a test centre to do a test flight or anything anymore. So I thought, happy days, I'm just going to do it online. So I was fortunate enough to do that very early on in lockdown, and it was pretty cool actually, because the company that I went with, Flyby Technologies, they're all ex-RAF, they're actual real pilots, that have flown all sorts of things and got some interesting stories to tell. So I spent about a week on Zoom calls with those guys doing training, learning all about weather and everything you can imagine. It was pretty cool, just training from those guys, and managed to pass that. And as soon as I did that, I thought, this is cool that this is online now. I wonder what else is online. And the first thing that came to mind, I thought, right, what have I always wanted to do that I've not done? And ham radio sort of sprung to mind. So I went and looked online and immediately noticed that you could book or do your test online. And I literally booked it there and then. I went straight on and booked the test for a month later, I think it was. And I hadn't even thought about training materials or how I was going to do it. It was literally decided there and then that it was happening. And lucky enough, I passed. Did the TUI basically a month later, as soon as you could do it, a month later, and the full followed not too long after that. So it's the whole online thing has certainly spurred me on to getting it done. So I'm glad about that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people come into the hobby for similar reasons as well, because clubs aren't for everyone, are they? I'm not really a club person. I'm not. I've got too much other stuff I want to do in my spare time. I don't want to spend an evening down a club every week or whatever. I prefer just to get on the radio. Wim, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, Stu, I'm with you there. G5STU, GW4TUD. We've got a local club here, which I used to go to. I've been once or twice, I don't know, in the last, 20 years or something, I'm not too sure. But I'm exactly the same as you, and as far as the lockdown thing, that's changed things, isn't it? It's changed how a lot of us behave. I used to love going out at the weekend and going out to the pub and stuff like that. My local pubs that I used to go out to nearly every weekend, I haven't been to since before lockdown, and I don't really miss it, to be honest with you. I'm with you on that one, and I'd rather be out on the beach or doing radio than standing around in a pub, to be honest. I'm with you on that. It's funny how things change, isn't it? But the online course thing is a fantastic idea, and I think that even better as well is the fact that if people want to, you can go straight to full, which I think is brilliant, because I thought this business of doing the foundation, then doing the intermediate, and then doing the full, having to have to jump through all those hoops first. If you want to just bang straight in and go and have a go at doing the full, is a good idea, and it's great that they've brought that in. And on the drone flying as well. I got myself a little drone. I haven't used it at all this year, Stu. The weather's been so hopeless. I was going to use it, take it out with me yesterday. I went down on the beach yesterday, and I thought, I'll charge up all the batteries the night before, and I walked out and I thought, it's too breezy. I've only got a little Mavic Mini SE, the first edition, as it were, not the Mark II or whatever it is, or the 3 or whatever. I've used it a few times. When was it? Last year, I think. And it's absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love it to bits. But this part of the world on the coast, there's nearly always a bit of a breeze, and I'm not that experienced, and I'm not that brave or foolhardy to fly it if it's windy. It needs to be flat calm for me, Stu, pretty well. But the times I've flown it, it's been brilliant, and looking back on the videos, wow, having lived here for all my life, it's great to see a different perspective on scenery and things. It's you're seeing things that you've never seen before, sort of thing. So it's really good. I like the drone. So there we go. Right, okay then, Stu, I'm not going to hold it too long. I thought I'd give you a quick call there. I just had a tune round on 40, and I heard you on with James, and I wasn't sure who started the QSO, so I thought, great, I'll jump in there and say a quick hello. So hopefully Callum's going to be on tomorrow. I'm going to head out to my sort of mobile location, about 10 miles east of the home QDH here. Up in the hills a little bit, and I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment, I think, Stu. What I'm going to do, I normally take the full-size dipole, I've made a 40-metre and 80-metre linked dipole, and I put that up as a sort of a very flat inverted V, about 5 metres above the fence line up there. And that works pretty well, but I'm just intrigued to know. I think I know the answer, but you never know. Things you can be surprised by things that you think are going to happen, and they don't. They turn out differently. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to test it with a 40-metre Ampro whip on the triple mag mount on the car, and see what it's like on that. And also, I'm going to take the sidewinder around along with the mill whip, and just to do a sort of signal comparison, really, not necessarily with Cal himself, but maybe with other stations, Inter-G stations, and just see what the difference is. It's just something I fancy doing, and I'm intrigued by it, but I think I know what the answer is going to be, but there we are. Unless you do it, you're not going to know for sure. So there we go. Anyway, that's you. I'll put it back to you, and I'll make the next one the final. I'll make myself a cup of tea before I go to bed. Put it back to you, that's you. G5STU from GW4TUD.
Yeah, lovely win, and I mean the drones. I've got a couple actually. I've got the Mavic Air, the first one that came out. That was the first drone I actually bought, and I've also got a Mavic 2 Zoom as well. And I basically spent 2 or 3 years filming farming equipment. My dad works in farming for a contractor, and he's coming up to retirement. And I wanted to get some footage in the archive, of him driving the machines and stuff before he retired, because it would, last chance really. So I basically spent every spare minute I had, evenings and weekends, for 2 or 3 years throughout the summer, just going out to wherever he was working and filming him and the rest of the guys doing silaging or maize harvesting, whatever it is they were doing. And I've actually got a YouTube channel that just has that on it. It's called Farm Tube, and that's all of that. I've not posted on it for a long time, but I was posting on it almost every day for about 3 years, so that was good fun. But I've not really flown the drone much in recent years, and but I want to get back into it. I keep charging up the batteries and meaning to go out and use it, but the weather's not been playing ball, so I think I'll get back into it as soon as possible, really, and maybe I'll spice up some of my ham radio videos with a bit of drone footage. I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. But okay, yeah, we're all fine on testing the Ampro and the Slidewinder. I've got both, and I've never really noticed much in it, to be honest with you. Obviously, the Slidewinder, it's base loaded versus sort of, the ham sticks are kind of center loaded more, aren't they? Because they're sort of helically wound. But I guess that makes a difference on the radiation pattern. I'm not overly sure. I'm no expert. I don't pretend to be. But I guess, for the short skip, you don't want a low radiation angle, do you? You want it to be going straight up and back down. So who knows? It'll be interesting to see how that works out, Win. Okay, I'll put it back round for you for the final. I'll put out one more call, and then I think I'm going to pull the plug here as well. I've just noticed it's almost 11 o'clock, Win. I didn't realise. Your final, go ahead.
Fantastic, Stu. G5STU, GW4TUD.
Yeah, fine there, Stu. Very good. Yeah, your signal's dropping a little bit there on the last over. You've gone down a little bit. Still perfectly readable, but yeah, maybe conditions changing a little bit. But all 100% and all good. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Well, it's all about experimenting, isn't it, Stu, really? But that's what I like doing. I think you're the same. It's all about trying stuff out and seeing if things work or if they don't work or whatever. That's all part of the fun, really, I think. That's what I enjoy all about it anyway. So there we go. So yeah, hopefully conditions will be okay for poor old Cal. He's had a bit of a run, hasn't he? Although last week I think was all right. I couldn't make it last week out there. But a few weeks, he's had a few weeks of bad conditions, but there we go. Maybe you should do, I think someone suggested in the chat that maybe, or I read, or I don't know, someone might have mentioned it, that he should do an evening sort of session, really, because evenings are really good on 40 metres. But there we are. It's great that he does the live stream anyway, and I really look forward to it every week. I think he's imbued, isn't he, this week? So there we go. So hopefully he'll be on tomorrow. Okay then, Stu, great to hear you, mate, and always a pleasure to have a chat, and always interesting chats. So looking forward to the next time there, Stu. So wish you all the best from West Wales 73, and here's to the next time. G5STU, GW4, TUD in Aberystwyth signing with you and wishing you a very good evening. Standing by for your final. 73 there, Stu. All the best, mate.
Yeah, G5STU, and yeah, no, he's away, isn't he, this weekend? So I guess he'll be remoting in, and I think Friday's just a sort of relaxed day, isn't it? Getting away from the business, having a bit of fun on the radio, and yeah, 40 isn't always the best during the day, isn't it? But he's done a few evening things lately, hasn't he? We did the mega stream the other week. Obviously, that was in the evening. He's done a few evenings with Jonathan where they've both been on at the same time. So yeah, it's certainly a different kettle of fish at night times on 40 metres, isn't it? So yeah, you never know. Maybe he will while he's on holiday. I guess he just likes spending time with the family in the evenings, but I've got no family to spend it with. Well, not locally anyway. Not at home. So I can go on the radio whenever I like. But there we go. Okay, Win, all the best. Thanks for coming in. I'll look forward to the next one. GW4 TUD G5STU 73.
Yeah, 73 there, Stu. You're fading down on me now, so conditions are changing, so it's quite well timed, I think. All the best, mate. Here's the next time. See you soon. G5STU, GW4 TUD in Aberystwyth, clear QRT. 73, Stu, all the best.
Yeah, no problems. You're a good 5-7 to 5-9 throughout there, Win. All the best. Golf 5, Sierra Tango United, listening for the last time.
2 Echo 1, Hotel Juliet Whiskey.
To be 1HJW. Good evening, Lee. How you doing?
Evening, Stu. How you getting on, mate? I've been playing with the old stream settings, so I'm sure we can have a chat after this, but I thought it would be criminal not to get a recording of you and Win talking. How am I getting down to you? You're solid like 10-15 over to me tonight, mate.
Yeah, well, you came in on about a 5-7, but you went up to 5-9 at the end there, so yeah, happy days. So I think you've sorted out your Wi-Fi, you've put in your cable now, haven't you? And what else has happened?
Yeah, I've sorted out my Wi-Fi, I've done the cable, I've had all the carpet up in the hallway, so that was quite entertaining. First time I've been that carpet been down since we were, well, about 8 years ago. So yeah, I've done that. I've sorted out a second cam on the phone, which is better quality, which is quite cool, and I've completely redone all the audio settings in OBS and all the filtration and bits and bobs. I've been reading up and looking at YouTube videos, so it'll make for an interesting conversation anyway. I'll post it as unlisted, and then you can have a flick and have a listen and see what you think, mate. But yeah, what's it been like on the radio tonight? I didn't even know you was live, to be fair.
G5STU. Yeah, no, it's not been super busy. It's good because you can have a chat with people. Sometimes it's nice to just get on and have a bit of a waffle, isn't it? But yeah, it's nice to have a pile up, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's nice to just have a natter. So I came on, I started talking to Vernon, M3YSB, and I was planning to go live, and I was going to make a cup of coffee and then go live, and then I thought, I've not had the coffee yet, and that was hour and 20 minutes ago, so maybe it's a bit late for that now. I'm actually live streaming on LinkedIn as well tonight for the first time ever. So I just want to say hello to anybody that's watching on there or watches it back, if there is anyone. I can't actually see if there is anyone. But I didn't realise you could live stream onto LinkedIn until recently, so I thought I'd give that a go. Lee, go ahead.
Oh yeah, Roger mate, I'm just going to check out your stream now on Station Master and see what's going on. But yeah, no, all good. Anyway, I will let you go, I'll let you put another call out if you're going to put another call out or whatever, and I will catch you in a minute, I suppose, on the other side. We'll have a bit of a catch up and you can have your cup of coffee, mate. So from 2E18JW, I'll catch you later on, Stu. Back over to you, mate.
Yeah, G5SG for the final. You've dropped right down there now, Lee, to about 5.3, 5.2. So good time to end it and pull the plug, I think, and 7.3, mate. And yeah, we'll have a chat later on another channel. But all the best, mate, and 73 for now. Bye-bye.
See you later, mate. Bye-bye.
Okay, G5SG. Now, QRT, thank you very much. And hello to any shortwave listeners, or indeed viewers. 73 for now. Bye-bye. Okay, hello, anybody watching? There's 14 on YouTube and who knows how many on other channels. So yeah, hello anybody that's jumped in the chat and said hello. I won't read out all the names, but you know who you are. Thanks for stopping by. Good to get a few in the log tonight. A nice little waffle. Sometimes it's nice just to talk, isn't it? And not just hand out 5 and 9. So yeah, quite enjoyed that. All the best. 7.3, and yeah, we'll see you Monday 8 o'clock for the live stream with Andy and Lee. And also, if you didn't hear earlier on, James, Amateur Radio UK, he's going to be live streaming Monday as well, Monday night, from a packing shed. I've forgotten where it is, but it's out, basically it's a tiny little island out somewhere that he's booked. I was going to go and join him, but I couldn't get the time off work. So he's going to be live streaming from there on Monday, portable. So look out for that one on Monday. It should be a good evening on the radio. All the best, and 73. We'll catch you next time. Bye bye.
Max for the kids, so it was very nice to hear you. That's 73, and stay healthy, take care, Max. Bye bye.
It's just having fun, getting people on the bands chatting. My world of amateur radio. Just sitting there listening on.
Oh, I've just jumped back in. Somebody asked about what was the longest distance, so I've just put them all on a map. There we go. So it was Jeff up in the Lake District. Looks like the longest one. So that's a good 300 odd miles, is it, I guess? There we go. Anyway, 73. Bye-bye.
Max for the kids, so it was very nice to hear you. That's 73, and stay healthy, take care, Max. Bye bye.
It's just having fun, getting people on the bands chatting. My world of amateur radio. Just sitting there listening on a frequency, listening to people calling in from all over the place. And amateur radio really is a fantastic hobby.
Okay, Stuart. Well, I've just took a little bit of video.
This is Germany 5, Sierra Tango United in company, calling GX, over. G5SU with 2E1 Hotel Juliet Whiskey. Thanks for coming back to the call, Victor.